Beauty and the Beast, from Europa's Fairy Tales by Joseph Jacobs. There once was a merchant who had 3 daughters, and he loved them better than life itself. Now it happened that he had to travel on a long journey to buy some goods, and when he was just starting, he said to them, "What shall I bring you back, my dears? Name any gift you like, and it shall be yours." And the eldest daughter asked to have a necklace, and the second daughter wished to have a gold chain. But the youngest daughter said, "Bring back yourself, Papa. That is what I want the most." "Nonsense, my child," said her father. "You must say something that I may remember to bring back for you. Surely there is something you wish for." "So," she said, "then bring me back a rose, father." Well, the merchant went on his journey and did his business in distant lands, and brought a pearl necklace for his eldest daughter, and a gold chain for his second daughter. But he knew it was no use getting a rose for the youngest while he was so far away, because it would fade and die before he got home. So he made up his mind he would get a rose for her the day he got near his house, so it stayed perfect for his beloved daughter. When all his merchanting was done, he rode off home and forgot all about finding a rose till he was almost home. Then he suddenly remembered what he had promised to his youngest daughter, and looked about to see if he could find a beautiful bloom. Near where he had stopped, he saw a great garden, and getting off his horse, he wandered about in it till he found a lovely rosebush, and he plucked the most beautiful rose he could see on it. At that moment he heard a sudden crash like thunder, and looking around he saw a huge monster with 2 tusks sticking out from its mouth, and fiery eyes surrounded by bristles, and horns coming out of its head and spreading over its back. "Mortal," said the beast, "who told you that you might pluck my roses?" "Please, sir," said the merchant, in fear and terror for his life, "I promised my daughter to bring her home a rose, and forgot about it till the last moment. And then I saw your beautiful garden and thought you would not miss a single rose, or else I would have asked your permission." "Thieving is thieving," said the beast. "Whether it be a rose or a diamond, you must pay with your life." The merchant fell on his knees and begged for his life for the sake of his 3 daughters, who had none but him to work and support them. "Well, mortal, well," said the beast, "I grant your life on one condition, and one condition only. 7 days from now you must bring this youngest daughter of yours, for whose sake you have broken into my garden and committed this crime, and leave her here in your place. Otherwise, swear that you will return, and that you yourself will become my servant." So the merchant made his promise by swearing solemnly, and taking his rose, mounted his horse. As he rode home, his heart was as heavy as lead, his mind full of woe. As soon as he got into his house, his daughters came rushing around him, clapping their hands and showing their joy in every way. The merchant tried hard not to show his anxiety and sorrow, and soon he gave the necklace to his eldest daughter, and the chain to his second daughter. But when he gave the rose to his youngest, a deep sigh escaped his lips. "Oh, thank you, father," they all cried. But the youngest said, "Why did you sigh so deeply when you gave me my rose?" "Later on I will tell you," said the merchant, his eyes full of dread. So for several days the family got on with everyday life as normal, though the merchant wandered about gloomy and sad, and nothing his daughters could do would cheer him up, till at last he took his youngest daughter aside and said to her, "Bella, do you love your father?" "Of course I do, father, of course I do," the maiden replied. "Well, now I have to ask that you do something because you love me, and it may well be the hardest thing that I ever have to ask of you," explained the merchant. And then he told her all of that had occurred with the beast when he got the rose for her. Bella was very upset, as you can well think, and then she said, "Oh, father, it was all on account of me that you fell into the power of this beast. So I will go with you to him. Perhaps he will do me no harm. But even if he does, better harm to me than evil to my dear father." So the next day, the merchant took Bella behind him on his horse, as was the custom in those days, and they plodded off, hanging their heads, to the dwelling of the beast. They allowed the horse to go as slowly as he liked, but the time finally came when they at last arrived. The merchant and his daughter alighted from the horse to find that the doors of the house swung open on their own. And what do you think they saw there? Nothing. So they nervously went up the broad stone steps and went through the great entrance hall and went into the great grand dining room, And there they saw a table spread with all manner of beautiful glasses and plates and dishes and cutlery, with plenty to eat upon it. So they waited and they waited, thinking that the owner of the house would appear, till at last the merchant said, "Let's sit down and see what will happen then." And when they sat down, invisible things passed them things to eat and drink, and they ate and drank to their heart's content. And when they arose from the table, it arose too, and disappeared through the door, as if it were being carried by invisible servants. Suddenly there appeared before them the beast, who said to the merchant, "Is this your youngest daughter?" And when he was told that it was, he said, "Is she willing to stop here with me?" And then he looked at Bella, who said in a trembling voice, "Yes, sir." "Well, no harm shall befall thee," replied the beast. And Bella thought that she saw a kind light in his horrible eyes. With that, he led the merchant down to his horse and told him that he might come on the same day the following week to visit his daughter. Then the beast returned to Bella and said to her, "This house with everything in it is yours. If you want anything at all, just and ask for it, and it will be brought to you." And with that he made a sort of bow and went away. So Bella lived on in the beast's home of splendour and finery, and was waited on by invisible servants, and had whatever she liked to eat and to drink. The next day, when the beast came to her, though he looked so terrible, she had been so well treated that she had lost a great deal of her fear for him. So they spoke together about the gorgeous garden, which was the most beautiful she had ever seen or imagined, and about the horse, and about her father's business, and about all manner of things, so that Bella lost altogether her dread of the beast. Before Bella knew it, a week had flown by, and her father came to see her. He found her quite happy, and he felt much less worry of her fate at the hands of the beast. So it went on for many days, Bella seeing and talking to the beast every day, till she got to quite like him. One day, the beast did not come at his usual time, just after the midday meal, and Bella missed him awfully. She searched all over the house, but could find no sign of him at all. So she wandered about the garden trying to find him, calling out his name, but received no reply. Bella's heart began to race with anxiety. Then at last she came to the rose bush, from which her father had plucked the rose. And there under it, what do you think she saw? There was the beast lying, huddled up, without any life or motion. She threw herself down by his side, dreadfully shocked and upset, remembering all the kindness that the beast had shown her. She began to sob, saying, "Oh, beast, beast, why did you die? I was getting to love you so much." No sooner had she uttered those words than the hide of the beast split in two, and out came the most handsome young prince. He told her that she had been enchanted by a magician, and that he could not recover his natural form unless a maiden should, of her own accord, declare that she loved him. Thereupon the prince sent for the merchant and his daughters, and he was married to Bella, and they all lived happily ever after. The end.